What's up, YouTube? I know this says how to, but because I'm here by myself, and I know one else to help me film, this isn't gonna be a step-by-step, more or less just how I did everything. This job is not a fucking simple job. If I was gonna recommend this to anybody, I would recommend planning on having a lot of time at a lift, and I can't imagine doing this on the ground. And it's been 3 hours now, and I've just got the starter out. I haven't even got it back in. Here you can see that's where the starter is. The service manual says to drop the exhaust, take the axle out. I did take the axle out. I took the alternator out. I did take the heat shield out, the battery tray, the motor mount. It's a fucking nightmare to do this starter. Acura's, very surprised. Acuras are I think they're engineered pretty well. Like the Hondas are usually very simple, but what makes this so weird is the fact that the motor faces vertically as it would in a rear wheel drive car, but it's front wheel drive, so the axles are 90 degrees off. One second. The transmission is like 90 degrees off, or 180, yeah, 90 degrees from the way it should be. So here you can see I didn't disconnect the exhaust. This was the fucking extension I'd used to get the top starter bolt. I don't know if you can see, you probably can't see that bolt right there. It's the top starter bolt. The bottom starter bolt is right there. I did have to take the motor mount out. There are 3 bolts right here. You do have to take the alternator out and this bracket. I did have to take the heat shield out so I could get to the top motor mount bolt or nut on top of the motor mount. And as you can see, I had to take the axle out and lift up the lower ball joint. And I have the transmission, the oil pan on a stand right now, up in the air. Just taking a break, and I'm gonna put the starter back in. It's very hectic. There's a lot of wires up here from the alternator and to the starter. Just a fucking, if I were to describe this in one word, a nightmare. And I'm only halfway through basically. I haven't even put everything back together. It's pretty exhausting and very, very unnecessary and ridiculous for Acura or like Honda, which is usually very simple. But yeah, I guess this is just letting you guys know that there is, I guess, a way to do it without disconnecting the exhaust. I really tried to avoid it. As you can see, those are gonna snap, you know, like yesterday. So obviously I'll probably have to be replacing that soon. This is my personal car, so that's why I'm doing this and going through all the trouble. I wouldn't be doing this for side work. I would rate this as a very difficult job. I do tend to work on a lot of Japanese cars, mostly Hondas and Acuras. I like to say I'm pretty familiar with them. I'm not very familiar with German cars or European, so I don't really know what I could compare this to, but I just thought I would share my ideas, my thoughts. Sorry if the audio is shitty, the camera is shitty and shaky. This is very just raw footage. I couldn't find anything on the internet, couldn't find any videos or pictures on how to do it, and for me, usually looking around for how to do things, you can find it on the internet, and pictures and videos tend to help a lot, at least for me. Not just it does more than just reading the service manual or reading somebody saying it on the forums. So as you can see, I have a huge assortment of fucking tools that I used all over the place. It's a mess. I know it's not very organized. I honestly didn't plan out this would taking that much time. The book pays like 4.5 hours for this job, which I know it wouldn't take me 4.5 hours, probably gonna take me double that. Almost took me 4 hours just to get the starter out. And I bet you it will take me just as much time to get the fucking motor mounts back up in there. Very small spaces, you can see. You know, get the starter back in, everything, you know, buttoned up, the axle back in, the alternator back in, tightened up, you know, make sure I have every little loose nut and bolt put back together. I did disconnect the front sway bar link so I could swing the control arm down a little farther, because this top bolt broke off, the head snapped off, which I've never really seen in a Honda or Acura before. Usually they're pretty good about coming off, but I will be leaving that for now until I can, this Saturday afternoon right now, so until next week when I can order one and get one and have fun drilling that out or torching that out. Whichever way, it's gonna be miserable. But yeah, this is it. I'll just give you one little quick overview again so you guys can see. I took the axle out, lower ball joint. I did take the alternator out, the heat shield, the battery, and the battery tray. I would give you a view from up top, but I can't right now, so this is where the starter is. I did have to take the motor mount out. I'll try to get some light in there. Whatever, you guys get the picture. But you can do it without taking the exhaust out. It's just a bitch, and it takes a lot of finesse, I guess, and a lot of patience, which I really didn't have, but I just had to fucking suck it up. And so yeah, so wish me the best of luck trying to get this fucking thing back together, but I hope this was helpful to some people. I don't know how many people are still out there working on these, or how many people are still driving them around. They're pretty, I guess, not that common on the road. Maybe this would take a little less time down south, but up here in fucking Boston, it sucks. It's too much rust and shit. But yeah, so I hope this was somewhat informational and helpful, and I wish you guys the best of luck if you're doing this. I hope it takes less time than it's taking me. Have a good day, guys.